Welcome to another still not quite dramatic reading of My Immortal. This time, chapters 12 through 22. Okay, chapter 12. I was about to slit my wrists again with the silver knife that Drago had given me in case anything happened to him. He had told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must both go together. No! I thought it was hair grid, but it was vampire. He started to scream, OMFG, no! My scar hurts! And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it, and my scar turned back into the lightning bolt. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation. He said back. Anyway, my scar hurt, and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me! Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him in bondage. Anyway, I was in the school's nurse office now, recovering from my slit wrist. Snap and Lupin and Harrod were there too. They were going to Saint Mango's after they recovered, because they were pedophiles. And you can't have those fucking pervs teaching in a school with lots of hot girls with us. See, Dumbledore had constipated the Cydio camera they took of me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Enobi, I need to tell you something, he said in a serious voice, giving me the roses. Fuck off, I told him. You know I fucking hate the color pink anyway. And I don't like fucked up preps like you, I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before being the Gothic. No, Enobi, Hagrid says. Those are not roses. What, are they goths too, you poser prep? I asked, because I was angry that he had bought me pink roses. I saved your life, he yelled angrily. No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton video made from your shower scene and being viewed by Snap and Lupin, who masturbated to it, he added silently. Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. Those aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say. That's not a spell, that's My Chemical Romance song, I corrected him wisely. I know, I was just warming up my vocal cords. Then he screamed, Particulate me... Fuck me. Enema... No, that's impossible to say. You read that. And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air. And it was black. Now I knew he wasn't Alright. Okay, I believe you now. What the fuck is Draco? Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. You see Enobi, Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. To see what's in the flames. He's fucking high. You must find yourself first, Kay. I have found myself okay, you mean old man, Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache, or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back to his bed. You are a liar, Prof. Dumbledore. Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. I thought you already did that. There was some corset stuff on the front again. Then I put on some black fishnets and black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. I put my hair all around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring. And I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner, and black lip gloss. You look kawaii, girl, Bloody Mary said sadly. Thanks, you do too. I said sadly too, but I was still upset. I slit both my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and I sucked all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom, and put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magical magic creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared, and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hi, he said in a depressed way. Hi back, in a Wookley said way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful red gothic eyes, so much like Draco's. Then... ... We jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Stop it right now, you horny simpletons! Shouted Professor McGoggle, who was watching us, and so was everyone else. Vampire, you fucker, I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me. You know I love Draco. You jumped on him, you idiot. I shouted. Then I ran away angrily. Just then he started to scream, OMFG, no, my scar hurts. And then his eyes rolled up. Yeah, we went through this before. No, I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed the pentagram foundation. Scar hurt, vision was happening. Draco, Voldemort has him in bondage. Alright. Chapter 13. Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Dumbledore, we both yelled. Dumbledore came there. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Voldemort has Draco, we shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. No, don't. We need to save Draco. No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony, he said, while he frowned looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. My Draco, he moaned. It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm. I have an idea, he exclaimed. What? I asked him. You'll see, he said. He took out his wand and did a spell. Then suddenly, we're in Wolfham's lair. We ran in with our wands out just as we heard a croon voice say, Alakadabra. It was Voldemort. We ran to where Voldemort was. Chapter 14. Fuck me. We ran to where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was crying tears of blood. Snake Tail was torturing him. Vampire and I ran in front of Snake Tail. "Rid of my sight, you despicable preps," he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun. Suddenly he looked at me. Then he fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. "Ebony, I love you. Will you have sex with me?" he said. No spaces. He is 16 years old, so he's not a pedophile, okay? "Huh?" I asked. "Inobi, I love you. Will you have sex with me?" asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. "What the fuck? You torture my BF, and then you expect me to fuck you? God, you are so fucked up, you fucking bastard," I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out of it like a fountain. "No!" he screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears, sadly. "Snaketail, what art thou doing?" called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away. Then I started crying. "What's wrong, honey?" asked Draco, taking off his clothes so we could screw. He had a sex pack and a really huge you-know-what and everything. "It's so unfair," I yielded. "Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all other girls and preps here except for Bloody Mary because she's not ugly or anything?" "Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They're such fucking sluts," answered Draco. "Yeah, but everyone is in love with me, like Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid says he was in love with me. Vampire likes me, and now even Snaketail is in love with me." No, he's not, because he's fucking dead. "I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan have made me less beautiful?" I shouted angrily. "I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a fucking curse," I shouted, and then I ran away. Okay. Chapter 15. "Ebony, Ebony," shouted Draco sadly. "No, please come back." But I was too mad. "Whatever. Now you can go on, have sex with Vampire," I shouted. I stormed into my room and closed my black door with my blood-red key. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire. I started to cry and weep. I took a razor and started to slit my wrists. I drank the blood, all depressed. Then I looked at my black Good Charlotte watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class. I put on a short, ripped, black gothic dress that said "Anarchy" on the front in blood-red letters. That was all ripped and a spiky belt. Under that, I put on ripped black fishnets and boot that said Joel all over them with blood-red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology works. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly, the guitar turned to Draco. "Inobi, I love you," he shouted sadly. "I do not care what those fucker preps and posers think. You're the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just want to fucking be with you. I fucking love you." Then he started to sing "Da Chronicles of Life and Death" right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic and sexy, like a cross between Gerard, Joel, Chester, Pierre, and Marilyn Manson. "OMFG," I said after he was finished. Some fucking prep stared at us. but I just stuck up my middle fingers that were covered in black nail polish and were entwined with Draco's now at them. I love you, I said, and then we started to kiss just like Hilary Duff and CMM in a Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but he stopped because everyone was clapping by how sexy we looked together. Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other all shocked, and then went together. Chapter 16. We ran happily to Hogsmeade. Then we saw the stage where Good Charlotte had played. We ran in happily. My Chemical Romance were there playing Helena. I was so fucking happy. Gerard looked even sexier than he did in Da pictures. Even Draco thought so. I could totally see him getting an erection, but it didn't matter, because I knew that we were the only true ones for each other. I was wearing a black leather mini dress and black leather platinum boots with red ripped fishnets. Draco was wearing a black baggy My Chemical Romance t-shirt and black baggy pants. Anyway, we started moshing to Helena. We Frenched. We ran up to the front of the band to stage dive. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the others. We gasped. It wasn't them at all. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers. What the fuck, Draco? I'm not going to a concert with you, I shouted angrily. Not after what happened to me last time. Even if it's My Chemical Romance, and you know how much I like them. What? 'Cause he gadgeted uncomfortably. 'Cause guys don't like to talk about you-know-what. Yeah, because I yielded in an angry voice. We won't do that again, Draco promised. This time we're going with an escort. OMFG, what the fuck? Are you giving into the mainstream? I asked. So I guess you're a prep or a Christina or what now? No, he muttered loudly. Are you becoming a prep or what? I shooted angrily. Inobi, I'm not. Please come with me. He fell down to his knees and started singing The World is Black by Good Charlotte to me. I was flattened, because that's not even a single. He had memorized the lyrics just for me. Okay, then I guess I will have to, I said, and then we Frenched for a while, and I went up to my room. Bloody Mary was standing there. Fuck me, what is that word? Hajimishid, girl, she said happily. She speaks Japanese. By the way, Willow, that fucking poser, got expelled. She failed at her classes and she skipped math. It serves that fucking bitch right, I laughed angrily. Well, anyway, we were feeling all depressed. We watched some gothic movies like Das Nightmare Before Xmas. Maybe Willow will die too. Kawaii. Bloody Mar shook her head energetically, lethargically. Oh yeah, have a confession after she got expelled. I murdered her, and then Lupin did it with her because he's a necrophiliac. Kawaii, I commented happily. We talked to each other in silence for the rest of the movie. Oh hey, by the way, I'm going to a concert with Draco tonight in Hogsmeade with MCR. I said I need to wear the hottest outfit ever. I thought that already happened. Bloody Mari nodded energetically. OMFG, totally, let's go shopping. In Hot Topic, right? I asked, already getting out my special Hot Topic loyalty cardy. No. My head snapped up. What? My head spinning. I could not believe it. Bloody Mary, are you a prep? No, she laughed. I found some cool gothic stores near Hogwarts, that's all. Who told you about them? I asked, sure it would be Draco or Diablo or Vampire. Or me. Dumbledore, she said. Let me just call our brooms. OMFFG Dumbledore? I asked quietly. Yeah, I saw the map for Hogsmeade on his desk, she told me. Come on, let's go. We were going in a few punk goth stores specifically for the concerts in Hogsmeade. The salesperson was OMG hotter than Gerard, except not because it's impossible. And he gave me a few dresses. We only have these for da real goths. Da real goths? Me and Bloody Mary asked. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many posers there are in this town, man. Yesterday, Lupin and Snap tried to buy a gothic camera pouch. I didn't even know they had a camera. OMFG, no, they're gonna spy on me again. I cried, running out of the changing room, wearing a long black dress with lots of red tulle coming out, and very low cut with a huge slit. Oh my Satan, you have to buy that outfit, the salesperson said. Yeah, it looks totally hot, said Bloody Mary. You know what I am going to give it to you free, 'cause you look really hot in that outfit. Hey, are you gonna be at the concert tonight? He asked. Yeah, I am, actually. I looked back at him. Hey, by the way, my name's Ebony Darkness Dementia. Tara. Wait, what's yours? Tom Ridd, he said and ran a hand through his black-dyed hair. Maybe I'll see you tonight. Yeah, I don't think so, 'cause I'm going there with my BF Draco, you sick perv, I yelled angrily. But before he could beg me to go with him, Hagrid flew in on his black broom, looking worried. OMFG Ebondi, you need to get back to the castle now. Oh. Chapter 17. Tom Riddle gave us some clothes and stuff for free. He said he would help us with makeup if he wanted, because he was really into fashion and stuff. Hagrid kept shooting at us to come back to Hogwarts. What the fuck, Hagrid? I shouted angrily. Fuck off, you fajucking bastard. Well, anyway, Willow came. Hagrid went away angrily. Hey, bitch, you look kawaii, she said. Yeah, but not as kawaii as you, I answered sadly, because Willow's really pretty and everything. She was wearing a short black corset thingy with blood red lace on it, and a black blood red miniskirt, leather fishnets, huh? And black pointy boots that showed off how pale she was. She had a really nice body with big bobs and everything. She was thin enough to be anorexic. Alright. So are you going to the concert with Draco? She asked. Yeah, I said happily. I'm going with Diablo, she answered happily. Well, anyway, Draco and Diablo came. They were both looking extremely hot and sexy, and you could tell they thought we were OT too. Diablo was wearing a black t-shirt that said 666 on it. He was wearing tons of makeup just like Marilyn Manson. Draco was wearing black leather pants, nice, a gothic black Good Charlotte t-shirt, and black Vans he got from the Warped Tower. Bloody Mart was going to the concert with Dracola. Dracola used to be called Navel, but it turns out that he was kidnapped at birth, and his real family were vampires. They died in a car crash. Navel converted to Satanism, and he went goth. He was in Slytherin now. He was wearing a black warped t-shirt, black jeans and shoes, and black hair with red streaks in it. We call him Dracula now. Well, anyway, we all went to Draco's black mercy bends that his dad, Lucian, gave him. We did pot, coke, and crack. Draco and I made out. We made fun of those stupid fucking preps. We soon got there, I gasped. Gerard was the sexiest guy ever. He looked even sexier than he did in pics. He had long raven black hair and piercings blue eyes. He was really skinny, and he had an amazing ethnic voice. We moshed to Helena and some old odder songs. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the other members, I gasped. It wasn't Gerard at all. It was an ugly, preppy man with no nose and red eyes. Everyone ran away but me and Draco. Draco and I came. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers. We've been through this before. You moronic idiots, he shooted angstily. Inobi, I told you to kill a vampire. Oh, we're back to this plot. Thou have failed, and now I shall kill thou and Draco. No, no, please, we begged sadly, but he took out his knife. Suddenly a gothic old man flew in on his broomstick. He had long black hair and a long black beard. He was wearing a black robe that said Avril Lavigne on the back. He shouted a spell, and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore. Chapter 18. I woke up the next day in my coffin. I walked out of it and put on some black eyeliner, black eyeshadow, blood red lipstick, and a black, really low-cut leather dress that was all ripped and in stripes so you could see my belly. I was wearing a skull belly ring with black and red diamonds inside it. The night before Draco and I went back to the skull, Dumbledore chased Voldemort away. We flew there on our brooms. Mine was black and the broom's stuff was blood red. There was lace all over it. Draco had a black My Chemical Romance broom. Boom. We went back to our rooms, and we had you-know-what to a Linkin Park song. Well, anyway, I went down to Great Hall. All the walls were painted black, and the tables were black too. But you could see that there was pink pant underneath the black pant, and there were posters of poser bands everywhere, like Ashley Simpson and the Backstreet Boys. What the fuck, I shouted, going to sit next to Bloody Mary and Willow. Bloody Mary was wearing a black leather mini with a good Sherloot t-shirt, black fishnets, and pointy black boots. Willow was wearing a long gothic black dress with blood red writing that was all lacy and came up to your thighs, and black boots and fishnets. Vampire, Dracula, and Draco came. We started to talk about who was sexier, Mikey or Gerard Way or Billy Joe Armstrong. The boys joined in because they were bi. Those guys are so fucking hot, Navel was saying as suddenly a gothic old man with a black beard and everything came. He was the same one who had chased away Voldemort yesterday. He had normal tan skin, but he was wearing white foundation, and he had dyed all of his hair black. Dumbledore? We all gasped. What the fuck? I shouted angrily. I thought he was just wearing that to scare Voldemort. Hello, everyone, he said happily. As you can see, I gave the room a makeover. What do you think about it? Everyone from the poster table in Gryffindor started to cheer. Well, we goths just looked at each other all disgusted and shook our heads. We couldn't believe what a poser he was. By the way, you can call me Albert. He called as we left to our classes. What a fucking poser! Draco shouted angrily. As we went to transformation, we were holding hands. Vampire looked really jealous. I could see him crying blood in a gothic way, but I didn't say anything. I bet he's having a midlife crisis, Willow shouted. I was so fucking angry. Chapter 19, I'm not okay, I promise. Again, chapter titled for no reason. All day we sat angrily thinking about Dumbledore. We were so pissed off. Well, I had one thing to look forward to. The MCR concert. It had been postponed, so we could all go. Anyway, I went to the common room sadly to cut classes. Draco was being all secretive. I asked what it was, and he got all mad at me and started crying all hot and angsty. I'm sensitive by guys so hot. No one fucking understands me, he shouted angrily, as his black hair went in his big blue eyes, like Billy Joe in Boulevard of Borkin Dreams. He was wearing black baggy pants, a black MCR t-shirt, and a black dye. I was wearing a black leather low-cut top with chains all over it, and a black leather mini, black high-held boots, and a crossed belly thing. My hair was all up in a messy, really high bun like Amy Lee, and gone under. This spelling is... Accuse me? And then, what about me? I growled. But, he grunted. You fucking bastard, I moaned. No, wait, it's not what it fucking looks like. He shouted, but it was too late. I knew what I heard. I ran to the bathroom angrily, crying. Draco banged on the door. I whipped and wept as my bloody eyeliner streamed down my cheeks and made cool tears down my face, like Benji in the video for Girls and Boys. I took out a cigarette and started to smoke pot. Suddenly Hagrid came. He had appeared. You gave me a fucking shock, I shouted angrily, dropping my pot. What the fuck do you think you're doing in the girl's room? Only it wasn't just Hagrid. Someone else was with him too. For a second I wanted it to be Tom Ridd or maybe Draco, but it was Dumbledore. Hey, I need to ask you a question, he said, pulling out his black wannabe gothic purse. What are you wearing to the concert? You know who MCR are? I gasped. No, I just saw there was a concert that a lot of goths and punks were going to, he said. Anyway, Draco has a surprise for you. Chapter 20. All day I wondered what the surprise was. Meanwhile, I popped on a black leather mini, a black corset with opal lace stuff all over it, and black goth compact boots. My Chemical Romance were gone to do the concert again since Volksmort had taken over the last one. I slit my wrists while I moshed My Chemical Romance in my bedroom all night, feeling excited. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door while I was trying on some black clothes and moshing it to Fang You for the Da Venom. I got all mad and turned it off. But scarily I hopped inside that it was Draco, so we could do it again. What the fucking hell are you doing? It was Lupin. Are you gonna come rape me or what? I yelled. I was allowed to say that because Dumbledore had told us all to be careful around him and Snap since he was a pedo. No, actually. Can I please borrow some condoms? He growled angrily. Yeah, so you can fuck your 6-year-old girlfriend, huh? I shouted sarcastically. Fucker, he said, going away. Well, anyway, I put on some black eyeshadow, black eyeliner, and some black lipstick and white foundation. Then I gasped. Snake and Lupin were in the middle of the empty hall doing it, and Dobby was watching. Oh my god, you ludicrous idiots. They both shooted angrily when they saw me. Dobby ran away crying. They got up, though. Normally, I would have been turned on, but both of them were fucking preps. What the fuck? Is that why you wanted condoms? I asked sarcastically. Only you wouldn't give them to me, lumpkin, shouted angrily. Well, you should have told me. I replayed. You dimwit. Snake began to shoot angrily, and then I took out my black camera and took a pic of them. You could see that they were naked and everything. Well, excuse me, they both shouted angrily. What was that all about? It was to blackmail you, I snarked. So now next time you see me doing it with my boyfriend, you can't fucking rat me out, or I'll show this to Dumbledore. So fuck off, you bastards. I started to run. They chased me, but I threw my wound at them, and they tripped over it. Well, anyway, I went outside, and there was Vampire, looking extremely fucking hot. What the fuck, where'd Draco? I asked him. Oh, he's being a fucking bastard. He told me he wouldn't come. Vampire said, shaking his head. You wanna come with me to the concert? Then he showed me his flying car. I gasped. It was a black car. He said his dog father, Sirius Black, had given it to him. The license plate on the front said MCR 666 on it. The one on the back said Inobi on it. I gasped. We flew to the concert hall. MCR were there playing. Vampire and I began to make out, moshing to the music. I gasped, looking at the band. I almost had an orgasm. Gerard was so fucking hot. He began to sing Helena, and his sexy, beautiful voice began to fill the hall. And then I heard some crying. I turned and saw Draco crying into a corner. Chapter 21. Later, we all went in the skull. Draco was crying in the common room. Draco, are you okay? I asked in a gothic voice. No, I'm not, you fucking bitch, he shouted angrily. He started to run out of the place in a suicidal way. I don't know how you do that. I started to cry, because I was afraid he would commit suicide. It's okay, Inobi, said Vampire comfortingly. I'll make him feel better. You mean you'll go fuck him, won't you? I shouted angrily. Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too. Draco, please come, he began to cry. Tears of blood came down his pale face. I was so turned on because I love sensitive bye guys. And then we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out his black invisibility coat. We both got under it. We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hand. Who's there? He shouted angrily. We saw Filth come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly. Is anyone there? Yelled Mr. Norris. No, fuck you, you preppy little poser's son of a fucking bitch, said under his breast in a disgusted way. Excuse me, who said that? Yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Filch meow. Filth is there anyone under the cloak? He asked. Filth nodded, and then Vampire Frenched me. He did it just as Mr. Norris was taking off the cloak. "What the?" he yelled, but it was too late because now we were running away from him. And then we saw Draco crying and busting into tears and slitting his wrists outside of the school. "Draco," I cried, "are you okay?" "I guess, though," Draco wept. We went back to our coffins, Frenching each other. Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid on the gothic red bed together. As I was about to put in the video, my eyes rolled up, and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now. There was a knock on the door, and Fug and the Mystery of Magic walked into the school. Chapter 22. All day, everyone talked about the Mystery of Magic. Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was in my coffin, so I opened the door. I was wearing black, lacy leather pajamas. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diablo, Draco, Dracula, and Willow. I opened my crimson eyes. Willow was wearing a tight black leather top with pictures of bloody roses all over it. Under that, she wore a black poofy skirt with lace on it and black gothic boots that was attached to the top. Vampire was wearing a baggy Simple Plan t-shirt and baggy black pants and Vans. Draco was wearing a black My Chemical Romance t-shirt and black jeans and a leather jacket. He looked just like Gerard Way and almost as fucking sexy. Vampire looked like Joel Madden. Bloody Mary was wearing a tight black puffy gothic dress that she ripped so it showed off all of her cleavage, with a white apron that said bitch and other swear words and MCR lyrics, kind of like the one dress I had seen Amy Lee wear once. Darkness, who is Jenny, was there too. She was wearing a ripped gothic black dress with ripped stuff all over it, and a lace-up top thing and black pointy boots. So were Crab and Goyle. It turns out that Darkness, Diablo, Crab, and Goyle's dad was a vampire. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists with a razor. He had raped them and stuff before too. They all got so depressed that they become gothic. That wasn't my mistake this time. Gothic and converted to Satanism. OMFG, I yielded as I jumped up. "Why the fuck are you all here?" "Inobi, something is really fucked up," Draco said. "Okay, but first I need to put my fucking clothes on first," I shouted angrily. "It's alright, we have to go now, and you look kawaii anyway. You're so fucking beautiful," Draco said in a sexy voice. "Oh, alright," I said, smiling. "But you have to tell me why you're all being erective." I will," he said. So I just put on some black eyeliner, black lipstick, and red eyeshadow and white foundation. Then I came. We all went outside the great hall and looked in from a window. A fucking prep called Brittany from Gryffindor was standing next to us. She was wearing a pink mini and a Hilary Duff t-shirt, so we put up our middle fingers at her. Inside the great hall we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudge was there, shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Rumbridge was there too. "This cannot be," she shouted angrily. "The school should be closed. The Bark Lord is planning to kill the students," yelled Cornelia Fudge. "You are not fit to be the principal any longer," yelled Rumbridge. "You are too old and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry or Voldemort will kill your students." "Very well," Dumbledore said angrily. "But we cannot do this. We cannot close the school. There is only one person who is capable of killing Voldemort, and she is in the school, and her name is Enemy, Darkness, Dementia, Raven Way." Draco Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Willow, Vampire, and Bloody Mary looked at each other. I gasped.